How to make incense from sawdust. If you're curious about creating incense from sawdust, you're about to learn a unique and rewarding process. While sawdust itself isn't typically used as the primary ingredient in incense, it can be incorporated into the process in a creative way. First, let's clarify that traditional incense is usually made from finely powdered mixtures of herbs, spices, resins, and other combustible materials. To incorporate sawdust, you'll need to blend it with other ingredients that provide the fragrance and combustibility. Starting with the basics. Begin by preparing your main incense mixture. This typically involves grinding your chosen herbs, spices, or resins into a very fine powder. For example, you might use dried white sage, sandalwood, or various types of resin. Grinding and sifting. Use a mortar and pestle or a spice grinder to grind your ingredients into a fine powder. Then, sift the powder through a flour sifter to ensure only the finest particles are used. Adding makko powder. Makko powder, derived from the bark of the tabunoki tree, is a crucial component. It acts as a binding agent and helps the incense burn smoothly. The amount of makko needed varies depending on the ingredients. For high resin mixtures, you might need 40 to 90% makko, while mixtures with mostly woods, spices, and herbs require only 5 to 30% makko. Testing the mixture before proceeding, test your mixture by burning it as an incense trail. This ensures it burns slowly and steadily. Incorporating sawdust. Here's where sawdust can come into play, though it's not a conventional method. If you want to add sawdust, it should be in very small quantities, and only if it's from a fragrant wood like cedar or sandalwood. However, sawdust itself doesn't burn well and lacks the fragrance needed for incense, so it's more of a creative addition rather than a primary ingredient. Moistening and shaping. Once your mixture is ready, set aside 10% of it as a backup in case you add too much water. Slowly drizzle warm distilled water into the remaining mixture until it forms a dough. You can also add essential oils or hydrosols to enhance the fragrance. Forming incense sticks or cones. To form incense sticks, pinch off small pieces of the dough, roll them into balls, and then flatten them into stick shapes using the flat bottom of a small box. For cones, roll and pinch small amounts of the dough into cone shapes or use conical metal tips as molds. Drying the incense. Place your formed incense sticks or cones on a flat surface and let them dry completely. This can take several days depending on the humidity. In summary, while sawdust isn't a primary ingredient in traditional incense making, you can experiment with small amounts of fragrant wood sawdust blended into your incense mixture. However, the core process revolves around using finely powdered herbs, spices, and resins combined with makko powder to create incense that burns smoothly and fragrantly.